On this side, we'll create a little friend for this bush. Similar spiky sort of vibe, maybe just a little bit different. And drag to fill the color. You can wrap the ribbon tool around this to reposition it if you like. Tap the arrow to get out of that. Click the two squares, plus symbol to add a layer. Select a nice kind of yellow or orangey yellow. This is going to be for a little terracotta pot. Let's try to make a square. Drag to fill the color. You can use distort to modify the shape. You can use uniform to make it smaller. Tap the brush tool. Maybe we'll make this edge a little tiny bit rounded. And let's add sort of an ellipse right here. Edit shape. And I think we're almost there. Make a nice curve. Here we can zoom in just a little bit. And we can use the ribbon and ellipse with color fill and maybe this color to make the dirt. And now it's all one object. Click the two squares, plus symbol to add a layer. Let's create the little tree. Have to get out of that. I think I'll use this lighter, more browny brown, and have fun with this using the monoline tool. I'm currently at brush size 5, 100% opacity. Just make a little bit of a curve down. You can move it if you like. You can rotate it if you like. And then make a few more little arms. Then let's grab up this light color and we'll just sort of make a little bush all the way around it. We can start with this part. Then we'll have to fill these in manually. Click on the two squares, plus symbol to add a layer. Tap to get out of that. Grab up this back color, and we'll make a nice big bush here in the front. You can click the arrow tool and freeform, bring it out just a little bit further if you like. Arrow tool to get out of that. Go ahead and grab a slightly darker color, and we'll make a front pine. Make this one pretty jagged if you like. Before you drag to fill the color, let's take out a few of these pieces. Drag to fill. You can also extend this out a little bit. First you'll have to select freehand, no color fill, wrap it around, and freeform. And you can bring it out just a little bit if you like, or make it just a little bit taller. Click the two squares, click on this layer 12. I think we'll add one more bush. A tiny little bush. Drag to fill. You can wrap your ribbon around it and move it if you need to. And I think that that's all of our major pieces. Click on layer 1, add a layer, drag this layer beneath to be just between the grass and the blue sky. You can grab up that blue sky and get a kind of darker gray. Click on the brush tool, organic, rainforest. Tap to get out of there. My brush size is 3. My opacity is about 60. Let's test this out. Oh, that's looking pretty cool already. You can make it a little smaller if you like. Do smaller wisps up at the top. Increase the size. And then over here we can make it maybe a little bit bigger, but work in small little circles. Make it a little smaller if you want. A few tiny little wisps coming off of it. Tap the two squares, plus symbol to add a layer. Drag that layer you were just working on top. Click on the color circle and select a kind of warmer color. More white. Tap to get out of that. Brush size is currently 4. We'll just go over the top kind of edge, just lightly in the bottom, but mostly on top. If you don't like your color, try again. Play with this, see what works for you. Up on the two squares, click that top layer, magic wand, Gaussian blur, and slide it to adjust, maybe about 5%. Click on this back layer, click on the magic wand tool, tap bloom, maybe bring that up a little bit, not too much. Magic wand, Gaussian blur layer, probably about 5% again. You can add a sun up there if you like. I am going to pinch to merge the two layers. Click the plus symbol to add a layer, drag it beneath. Click on the color circle, collect up your color you've been using for blue. Maybe get a darker blue. Painting, round brush, nice and big. Drop the opacity down to about 70. And then bring some darker color from these sides, just slightly. You can even go darker if you like. Wand, Gaussian Blur, layer, slide to adjust. Probably once again about 5%. Oh, I think I'll go up to about 6.5. Tap the wand to get out of that. Let's continue to work our way forward. Tap on the layers panel, click on the next layer, which is our grass layer, and let's begin to add a little footpath and some grass. Tap on the brush tool, artistic, aurora, grab up a bit of a darker color, tap to get out of that, and let's see what we're working with here. My brush size is at 15%, opacity is at 70. I'll zoom out just a little bit and just lightly brush in this sort of texture from the edges. Grab up a brown and add that in the middle here to create a kind of footpath. And it's going to sort of trail off to the right. You can grab up a darker color if you like and add it into the center, sort of where it's been more trodden. You can even add a bit of brown over to the edge so that our grass isn't perfect. Grab up that dark green color and lightly brush it in from the edges. You can increase the size of the brush if you like. Mine's now 25%, and I think that looks good. I'll bring it back down to about 15%. Play with this and have fun. I think I'll add a little bit green to the footpath, like maybe some of the grass is growing into it. Lighter and darker. Sort of give the impression, the idea, that grass is growing into the trail. Okay, let's go to the next piece. Alright, these are the far back pieces. Click on the layer, alpha lock, so we can only draw on the layer. Grab up that dark blue color you were using before. Click on the brush tool. We could try Aurora here if we like. Let's see what it looks like. Drop the opacity down to 25 and bring the brush size up to 35. And you can play with different brushes. For example, a lot of people like to use Bonobo chalk, Bonobo, however you say that. So yeah, you can use that. I think I'll stick with Aurora probably throughout this entire painting. Let's switch between two colors. So I like this yellow color. I think I'll try that. For the edge, kind of just right outside, and maybe bring my brush size down. It's now about 15 again. That's a bit heavy for me. I'll try to bring that brush size back up again. Do a few at 35, 36%. It's looking a bit better. Bring it down for the smaller areas, 15% of brown. Yeah, it's looking better. Just lightly tap, introduce a few blotches of color. Click on the two squares, click on the next layer, which is our pine tree layer. Click on this layer, alpha lock, so we can only draw on that layer. Hold down your color circle to get that dark blue again. Let's see if this brush still works for the pine. I've got 15% brush size and 25% opacity. Hold down the color circle to get that previously used yellow back. We can just sort of lightly introduce it. Maybe a bit smaller, 10%. Do a bit more like strokes because this has got sort of straighter needles. Not too much, so we can switch back and forth to add back more of that dark again. A little funky, but I think I'll keep it. Click on layers, the next layer, alpha lock. It's these two bright yellow bushes. Hold down that brush tool to get that dark blue. I currently have 10% and 25% for opacity, and that's really small, so bring it up to 35%. You can tap as well, create little stamps. Hold to get your yellow back. See what this looks like. That's not too bad. Click on the two squares. Our next layer happens to be the gravel, so tap on that layer, alpha lock, tap anywhere to get out of that. Let's see what we should try here. I think I'll try that door color. Still on the Aurora brush, I'm going to bring that brush size down to a 15 again. Perhaps even smaller, add a 10. Do little strokes across. Maybe it's a little bit more worn there in the middle from all the people that are walking on it. Maybe we should mix in a little bit of red. Let's see what it looks like. All right, let's go to the next layer. Layer 2, which is our base color layer. So there's a few things that we'll want to do here. Click the plus symbol to add a new layer. We do not want this to be assisted. Let's grab up our red color and select a darker red. Ribbon tool, rectangle, and color fill. And let's just go ahead and zoom in here if we need to and place a few little bricks throughout. We'll do this a couple times with a couple different colors. Just make them pretty sporadic. Click the ribbon. Let's select this brown. Maybe find a bit more orangey version. Tap to get out of that. Let's try it. Whoa, undo if you have something like that happen. My palm hit the screen. It was very obnoxious. Click on the two squares, tap the N, and lower that opacity a little bit. Think down to about 70. Let's grab up that blue color again. Click on the brush tool, airbrushing, soft brush. This is looking great so far. Click on the two squares, click on the door, add a layer. Click on this, drawing assist, tap to get out of that.